1. The invisible starting line. There is a specific kind of pain that comes from watching others move through the world with the wind at their back. The right parents, the right mentors, and connections that open doors before they even knock. When you lack this, you might tell yourself it's a lack of resources, but it is actually an identity problem. The absence of support forces a confrontation with a question most people never have to answer. Who are you when no one is there to tell you who you are? 2. The collapse of the scaffolding. Most people never find their true selves because the scaffolding around them, family backing, institutional validation, and social approval, never collapses. They move through life with a self that was largely constructed for them. Carl Jung lived this experience personally. When he broke away from Sigmund Freud in 1913, he didn't just lose a colleague. He lost his most powerful validator and the entire professional establishment. In that silence, Jung realized that when the external structure dissolves, what remains is the raw psyche. He didn't emerge from that isolation weaker. He emerged with a psychological autonomy that supported paths almost never produce. 3. Development through necessity. Jung argued that genuine personality does not develop through encouragement or favorable conditions. It develops through necessity. The psyche is inherently conservative. It will not do the hard work of becoming unless it absolutely must. The cost of support. When a mentor or family member confirms your worth before you've proven it to yourself, they remove the pressure required for genuine growth. The benefit of abandonment. What feels like abandonment is actually a forcing function. Every decision you made without validation and every failure you absorbed without a safety net were the conditions under which a real self is forged.
Like, subscribe, and share.
4. Solitude versus loneliness and the shadow. When external support disappears, the silence that follows is often filled with what Jung called the shadow, the sum of everything your psyche has refused to integrate, including your unlived potential. Loneliness is the passive suffering of being alone. Solitude is the conscious choice to stay in that encounter with your interior because you realize what you find there is more real than external validation. Unsupported people often run on defiance, the need to prove others wrong. Jung warns that this is just a wound pretending to be an engine. To truly win, you must look at the shadow directly so it no longer controls you. 5. The two traps. There are two primary traps for those walking this unsupported path. Victimization. This is when the injustice of your situation becomes your identity. Bitterness feels like realism, but it's actually a defense that protects you from the vulnerability of trying and failing. Heroic refusal. This is the belief that needing no one is a superpower. It turns independence into an ideology and solitude into armor. This isn't strength, it's a sophisticated avoidance of the grief of being unsupported. 6. The forged self versus the inherited self. It is true that people with support progress faster, open doors open faster when someone holds them. But support also creates a structural vulnerability. When the scaffolding is removed from a supported person, they often collapse because they didn't build their own interior foundations. You are building differently. You are building an interior structure that no one can dismantle because no one else built it. Jung calls this individuation, the process of becoming a personality that cannot be shaken by the withdrawal of approval or collective panic. Conclusion: a life that cannot be taken. Winning without support means discovering a self that is fully yours, not inherited, not borrowed, and not contingent on external conditions. This revelation is the beginning of the only kind of life that cannot be taken from you, because it was never given to you in the first place. You built it in the dark, and that clarity is everything.